My neighbor kept stealing my packages, so I gave her a taste of her own medicine. This petty revenge story was posted in the Charlotte Dobre YouTube subreddit. Hi, petty people of Reddit. Strap in because this one takes place over about 2 months, and it's probably the most satisfying thing I've ever done. Do tell. So I, 29 female, live in a mid-sized apartment complex where each unit has a shared hallway. Not the kind with locked mail rooms or package lockers. Just a small lobby and mailboxes in the hallway, and delivery drivers usually drop packages off at your front door. For the past year, I've had no issues. But about 4 months ago, a new neighbor moved into the unit directly across from me. She's maybe mid-30s, high heels all the time, always on speakerphone in the hallway, and just generally gives off entitled vibes. Let's call her Cassie. That is crazy that there isn't a better system. I guess if you don't have someone at the front of the building, like a security guard or something. I'm sure there's lots of buildings like that. Unless there's cameras, I feel like that's ripe for package thieves. Perfect environment. I would be setting up a Nest Cam so quick. About a month after she moved in, I started noticing something weird. Packages would show as delivered in my tracking, but they wouldn't be there when I got home. Nothing expensive at first. A book, a few skincare things, a dog toy. I figured maybe porch pirates were sneaking into the building. It happens. I started sending more expensive things to my work instead. But then one day, I worked from home and actually heard the delivery guy drop something off. I got the delivered notification, waited 5 minutes, and opened the door. Nothing. Just gone. And whose door was clicking shut across the hall when I opened mine? Cassie's.
Swiper, no swiping! Swiper, no swiping!
So I decided to test it. I ordered a cheap pair of earrings from Amazon, $6. I set up a motion-activated camera peephole, super discreet, and waited. 2 days later, the package arrived, and less than 2 minutes after it hit the floor, Cassie opened her door, looked around, and snatched it.
Attenzione pickpocket! Attenzione borseggiatrici!
Ooh. Caught in 4K. I kind of wish you included the video on. No, we're not gonna put real faces or real names. I'm not trying to get food on this lovely date. I now have video proof, timestamps, everything. At this point, I could have gotten to the building manager or the cops, but let's be real, nobody was gonna launch an investigation over $6 earrings. And this was now personal. So I planned my revenge. What'd you do? Glitter bomb? Poop package? Over the next 3 weeks, I ordered the following item, one every few days. A glitter bomb. Yes. No, the glitter bombs are elite because have you ever tried getting rid of glitter? It's never gone. So she got a glitter bomb, a fake pregnancy test that always shows positive, a box labeled live crickets handled with care. It was just empty. A spring-loaded package that shoots out confetti when open. Ooh, confetti's another good one. A book titled So You've Decided to Become a Sugar Baby. A tube of hemorrhoid cream, actually just hand lotion with a fake label. Every item was under $10 and every box was labeled with my name and address. I left them all out like bait. And like clockwork, she took every single one. Honestly, at this point, she's just kind of stupid. Cassie's not the brightest crayon in the box. What did she think was gonna happen? She literally lives across the hall from you. It's one thing if she's taking a package every now and again, but she's taking every single one. I never said a word, never even looked at her. I just kept collecting video evidence and letting her embarrass herself. So let me guess, you moved in the shadows. The best part, the glitter bomb must have really pissed her off because one day I heard her yelling through the wall to someone on the phone saying,
I don't know who the frick keeps sending this stuff, but it's not funny anymore.
Then she stopped taking packages completely. About 2 weeks after that, the building manager sent out a mass email saying that due to repeated complaints, a camera system was being installed in the hallways to monitor package theft. I mean, I really feel like this should have been there to begin with, but okay. I'm pretty sure she thinks someone else reported her. I mean, or she was stealing packages from other people. Maybe you weren't the only one. Since then, I've had 0 packages go missing. Cassie still won't make eye contact with me, and I still have all the videos just in case she ever gets brave enough to try again. Does anyone wish you kind of took it a step further? Edit, a ton of y'all are telling me to go to the police with evidence. While I do agree, I think I should bring it to the building manager first. She doesn't come in for building calls on Saturdays or Sundays unless there's a true emergency. So I'll email the footage to her today and try to touch base on Monday. I just don't understand the mentality of package thieves. Like, everything you're taking, usually from Amazon, is like super cheap. Not really anything that you would actually want. It's always things that like I can't find like at the grocery store or something. I just get it on Amazon because it's like I can actually guarantee that it will show up and I'll have that very niche item. So like, I don't really understand the mentality of like taking other people's random shit. Do you just hope that one day it's something actually nice? Like one time we had package thieves that took like 5 packages off our front step. And like the stuff that they took was like a piece of like wood that I was gonna install as like a floating shelf, like period underwear. Just like really and it was a guy that took it too. It was just like really random stuff. I looked at him on my Nest camera as well. It was at like 5 in the morning. He had been scoping out the place, right? So he had a mask on and he brought big bags so that he could carry everything. And I'm like, do you even know like what you're taking? Cause it's not that great. But it is massively inconvenient for the people that ordered it. I honestly wish that you took it a step further. Like if you don't want to go to the police, like something a little more inconvenient. Is there like a poop bomb somewhere where it just sprays poop everywhere? Maybe you can make one. I genuinely think that like she got off really easy. And like, although she can't take packages anymore, it's satisfying what you did, but it's also would be more satisfying if she had repercussions. We got some more petty neighbor drama for you. Don't go away yet.
And you're watching Disney Channel.
Am I the a-hole for turning in a school project that showed my neighborhood and neighbors in a bad light? I'm a high school student in a Spanish class, and we had an assignment to make a video tour of a place. It had to be in Spanish and had to be conversational, like you were showing a friend around. I decided to walk around my street and make a tour of that because my family wasn't going anywhere else. So I filmed a neighbor's house. When I walked by, they were having a screaming fight. As usual. Here are the neighbors. They are very angry. They like to yell in the morning, afternoon, and night. Oh no. How did they even find out about you doing this? Like, this is silly. The next neighbor's house, Joe and Tammy live here. They are very nice and have 3 dogs. Someone drives by and cat calls me profanely. As a joke, I yell back, "Estúpido perro." I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, which means stupid dog. Then he slammed his brakes and yelled something racist before speeding off. I said to the camera, "This man is very stupid. He's a man but acts like a dog." I also introduced 10 other mundane things like flowers, a bird, etc. I cut out the long speeches of me walking, but I left everything else. My teacher had a rubric of the types of descriptions and numbers of things you needed, and taking any out would lose me points. It was too dark to film more. The second part of the assignment was to upload the video on the school website and post comments back and forth responding to several of your classmates' videos. Oh, I see. Okay, so it went a little public. I see. I thought we just like submitted it, but no, we're posting it. But like still, I'm just like,
your actions have consequences.
if you don't want people to talk about you negatively, don't do anything that warrants that.
Act more like an adult.
Like, just be normal. One of my friends from class recognized the racist guy as someone who volunteers with the middle school soccer team. So she texted me and said, "Haha, should I say something?" And I said, sure. So she posted in Spanish, "In the car, Mr. Jones, who coaches the children. I learned from your video that he hates women and is racist." I replied to say, "Does he teach the girls or the boys?" And she replied back, "Both." I replied, "That is terrible." Oh no. A guy in my class made a comment like, "That man yelling at his family is a police officer. He's always a very angry man." I replied back to say, "That is scary." Oh goodness. The next day at school, my teacher wanted to talk to me alone. She told me my video was inappropriate and I shouldn't have filmed the neighbors or the coach. Oh. To some degree, I can feel like maybe you shouldn't be filming people without their permission. I could agree with that. But like, you were very clearly walking around with your camera. At the very least, the guy that like catcalled you would see that you had like your phone out or like a video camera out, and he should have acted accordingly. And like, isn't this what she asked? Wasn't this like what the assignment was about? I said the assignment was literally to walk around a place you're familiar with and react like you're having a conversation with a friend. And that's literally how it goes when I walk around with my friends. My teacher said I was being belligerent on purpose and I should have known that stuff has to be dealt with delicately. I said, I just don't agree. It's life and there's no point in pretending it's not happening. I feel like you wouldn't have had to film anything like that if it didn't actually take place. You're literally just like responding and reacting to like whatever was around you. She says she'd taken down the video and it was the sort of thing that should be brought to authorities instead of posting for the whole class. I said I didn't even know who the guy in the car was and who was I gonna call about the cop? The cop? I have a meeting with the principal coming up tomorrow. Am I the a-hole for having posted that video for the Spanish class? Okay, so...
Nope.
To some degree, I can understand, you know, someone being recorded without their knowledge, like depending on where you are. Obviously, this is like completely dependent on like the laws of where you are. I'm trying to like think about like legally, like what are you allowed to do, but I don't know where you are. So I don't, even if I did, like I'd have to look it up. I think that your teacher trying to blame you for like literally completing an assignment exactly how she asked, maybe let's rethink this assignment and be a little more specific. Make sure you have permission to film somewhere. You don't need like a license or something or a filming permit or whatever. I just find it very funny that like 100% the guy that was caught on camera doing like things that were rather untoward probably reached out to the teacher and is like,
You filmed this without my permission. You posted it on the internet.
okay, but like you also were really rude and racist.
What will you learn? What will you learn? That your actions have consequences.
Let's not blame other people for our own actions. Okay, so on to the update. I had the meeting this morning. I think it went well. I have study hall now, so I have a little time to write the update. Last night, I did a bunch of prep. So before the meeting, I emailed the video to the elementary school principal, guidance counselor, and a few parents I know with the kids on the sports team to say their coach had yelled explicit and hateful things at me, a student in the school system. I wanted to get out ahead and make sure the video was out there before the school might be pressured to delete it. Backed up the video to multiple places. I asked a teacher I trust to sit in on the meeting and have it recorded and sent to all participants afterwards. We scheduled it for just before the school day started on Zoom so I wouldn't miss any class. And I decided to write up a list of things I'd want to discuss in the meeting and shared it with my favorite teacher in advance so she could help me address those questions. Ooh, we love a bestie that comes prepared. And for the actual meeting, I decided I'd just go into it acting as if they would probably do the right thing and ask for help. I was hoping having a teacher on my side and the meeting on video would pressure them to help. I thought if I approached it from a,
well, you're going to take this seriously
perspective and had it on video, it would put them in a tough spot to have to contradict me. So when I called in and everyone said good morning and the principal asked if I knew why I'd been called in, I just started out by saying, yes, I assume it's about kids coach. Thank you so much for calling this meeting with me this morning. I really appreciate how proactive you are about addressing the harassment from a staff member. Hang on, how old are you? I'm a high school student. So the coach kind of said some like creepy things to you? Did I read that right? Someone drives by and catcalls me profanely. Then he slammed his brakes and yelled something racist before speeding off. Oh yeah, no, he gotta go. I'm sorry. That one kind of like went right over my head. Ooh, he in trouble. I understand this is a mandated reporting state, and I wanted to ask if there was any information you will need to add to your report. Ooh, oh my goodness. Okay, so no wait. The principal seemed kind of caught out and said that a report had not yet been filed. And I said, well, as I understand it, there's a 48-hour time frame to file a report. I understand making you aware of this right before the weekend might have complicated things. Perhaps there was a miscommunication about the severity of events, but I was approached in a car, harassed and threatened by a man who works with other minors in the public school system. Oh, I feel like you should be a lawyer.
I completely agree.
As soon as I said all that, the meeting tone really changed. The meeting also had a school guidance counselor on it, and I could tell she understood how serious what I was saying was, especially because I was politely calling out that they were already past the legal deadline that should have filed a report by. She already took over, and the principal didn't participate as much. They fully went into that meeting to reprimand you, and you pulled out a nice little trump card.
Oh, I'm so scared.
I also tried to smooth things over somewhat by saying I was sorry I brought this to their attention in a school project instead of asking for a meeting with the principal directly. I should have reached out for help. So that's over. I'm still kind of freaking out about how big of a deal it turned out to be. Good on you, OP. That is like very impressive. You are very smart.
What, like it's hard?
And you turned a very like potentially really bad situation for you into like a kind of a plus, because now this guy is probably gonna lose his job, as he should, and maybe you would have gotten like suspended or something, or like you would have gotten in trouble for like, I don't know, filming someone without their consent or something like that. But you turned it into something where you had the power. I think you should like be a lawyer. Very impressed. All right, guys, we got one more. Kid put their stuff in my yard. I ran over it with my mower. The mother wants me to pay for it.
Oh, hell no!
So my yard goes pretty close to the neighbor's concrete pad where they have a basketball court set up. Neighbors' kids always go there to play and usually leave their bikes and things on my grass. It's not that big of a deal, except I have to ask them to move their stuff several times when I'm mowing. This is the first time I've mowed this year and the grass is a few inches higher than it should be. Anyways, a kid comes over and I'm mowing, but he still puts the basketball he brought with him down in my grass. Yeah, no.
I'm not mad. Just disappointed.
I get to the basketball and just decide I can nudge it with the front of the mower out of the way. I made eye contact with the kid several times, waiting for him to move it before I got there, and he never did, so I figured, whatever, it'll roll. Well, I bump it with my mower over to a section of mower grass, and I continue forward past where it was. There was a loud clunking and cracking, like I'd just run over a rock. The rock turned out to be his iPhone. Oh. Oopsie. He was upset, obviously, that his phone was broken, and I did feel bad. But my thought was that he should have said something or moved it before I got there. Yeah, you clearly didn't see it. I'm sure you didn't mean to, like, mow over a kid's phone. He goes home, and about 30 minutes later, his mom shows up and tells me I broke it and I'm responsible for replacing it. That I should have told him to move his stuff because I'm the adult. I tell her I'm sorry about the phone and politely decline her request. She just says,
I promise you will be paying for it.
I don't know if it works that way. He left stuff on your property. I ain't a lawyer, but I don't know if that will go over well. For her, at least. She storms off.
I am storming off now.
I'm not really sure what her next course of action is or what she plans to do. She mentioned something that has a friend that's a lawyer, so I guess she could take me to civil court. I mean, just because you have a friend that's a lawyer does not mean that, like, you're in the right. Am I legally responsible for replacing the phone? Would it be cheaper than court costs if she did choose to take me to court? I'm not a lawyer and I'm not gonna pretend to know, but like I do feel like her kid left his stuff on your property. Clearly he doesn't really think much of it anyway if he just like left it in the grass. I don't know. I'm curious to know what happened. One thing that you could do, which actually does make sense to me, if someone like threatens you with a lawsuit, you can literally just like Uno reverse and just be like, your son's iPhone that was left on my property after he trespassed damaged my lawnmower. I understand that you're worried about having to pay for like legal costs, but like so is she. I think maybe in this situation, unless she like really presses the issue, is just ignore it. It would be very unlikely for a court to make you pay. You couldn't see the phone and had no reason to assume that someone else's phone was hidden in your yard. The son was the one who acted negligently in leaving their phone hidden in tall grass. In fact, if you wanted to, you could probably sue and win for the cost of repairing any damage to your lawnmower. That's worth mentioning if your neighbor brings it up again. Oh yeah, that's always funny. So we do have a little update. So the mother and the son showed up at my door around noon and apologized. Interesting. She said she misunderstood what happened and thought I'd done it on purpose to teach her son a lesson about leaving his stuff in my yard. I guess he explained to her it was his fault, which I thought was commendable for someone his age. She told me that she just stressed about it. She's a single mother and doesn't really have the means to replace it at the moment, and if it was anything else, she probably would have gotten so upset. But he likes hanging out with other kids, and that's how she keeps track of him. Okay. Like, I mean, I know it's not happening to me, but I do appreciate the apology and like fair. I told her about my spare phone, an iPhone 7. His was a 6S. I took the advice of some of the commenters that it might be damaging to just give it to him and I should perhaps have him work for it. I have a detached garage and I've been meaning to clean it, and told her if he wanted to help me, I'd give him the phone. Oh, This is nice. Oh, this is cute.
Ooh, this is nice.
I love a happy ending. He instantly looked excited. I imagined he'd never get a new phone, and she acted very grateful and said he could help. They left and came back an hour later, just the sun this time, and we got to cleaning. Took 4 hours and a lot of work, but nothing too hard. He's only 12. I had a couple of cords of firewood I wanted moved out and stacked onto a rack, and then a bunch of boxes I cut up and had him bag and carry to the curb. He swept, had a Coke, and a couple slices of pizza, then got his phone. I had a talk with him about paying attention to where his things are because it won't always work out like this. Oh, that's good. Oh, goody. I also told him if he wants to mow my yard every weekend and his mom says he can, I'll pay him $30 a week. He acted excited at the thought of making money. And when I asked him what he'd spend it on, he said games. We figured out new games would be about $60 and worked out that I'd pay him $20 for 3 weeks, then $65 on the 4th week so he could cover tax, because it might be hard for him to save. The 4th week, he will do a little extra chore to cover the $5, like sweep off the porch or the walkway. I hope I've done the right thing and I didn't make him think that everything just works out. I think that you did do the right thing. It's like positive reinforcement, right? It was a misunderstanding. Yes, he carelessly left his phone on someone's lawn and they mowed over it and he lost the phone. You're also teaching him if you work towards something, you'll get the things you want. I think that if you're not already a parent, I actually can picture you being a very good parent. And hopefully he showed an equal measure of kindness that he will carry with him. I also didn't want the mother to stress over replacing the phone, as my mom was also a single mother and I know how tough it can be. My own son is just 2. Oh, you do have kids. Oh, yes. Okay. So it was really my first opportunity to pass on some fatherly wisdom, which is what I hope I did. Oh, I love a happy ending. I was so ready to get mad. Anybody else? Guns blazing?
No, you're not paying for that phone!
But this is very neighborly. And I'm glad it ended this way. Good on ya, OP. Subscribe! My cousin wants me to publicly apologize for what I wore to her wedding. What'd you wear, babe? This story was posted in the Charlotte Dobre YouTube subreddit. This is absolutely crazy, and it just happened to me this past weekend. I just need some outside perspective to see if I'm in the wrong and should apologize, or if I should stand my ground and, quote, tear the family apart.
You're tearing me apart.
This will be a long one, and yes, this actually happened. Do tell. This last weekend was my female 23 cousin's female 25 wedding. She had been with her fiance, male 30s, now husband, for about 2.5 to 3 years-ish. We got the wedding invitation in the mail during the summer and had noticed that there was a dress code. She wanted everyone to wear fall colors and had a link to a website that had approved colors on it, as well as her wedding registry and venue address. Fast forward to a week before the wedding, I look on Amazon and I find this burgundy floor-length dress and some black heels.
Oh, hi.
The colors were approved on her dress code, so I thought all was well, and I tried them on for my husband, male 23, and he said I look great. I'll attach the pictures. Oh, that's cute. You got that on Amazon? Oh my goodness, that is actually so cute. I wore a dress like that, well, like similar cut to my sister-in-law's wedding. Great dress, great shoes. What's the problem? So, this past weekend was the wedding. We go and watch as they exchange vows and clap as they walk down the aisle, and then we all meet back at the reception. I thought all was well, and once we got to the dining hall, I noticed it's like a buffet style for people to get their food and drinks. I noticed the line is way too long for me, so I send my husband to give our 2 kids to my parents so him and I could go congratulate my cousin and her new husband. When we walk up to my cousin, she does a double take at me after we congratulate them. She asks if she could speak to me privately. Oh, pretty strange place to have a little discuss with someone. I mean, don't you have other things to worry about at your own wedding? On the flip side of things, you really shouldn't be worrying about this at your wedding. Like, if she was wearing white, that's one thing. But even the bride, like, isn't really supposed to be the one that says something, you know? Like, you can, but like, leave that to like the bridal party, you know?
I'm sorry, I can't handle this.
Not like a little serious discuss. Once the door shuts, it's like all the fake smiles and warmth disappeared, and she starts berating me about how I wore red to her wedding to try and signify that I wanted to sleep with her husband.
Wait, what?
But that's burgundy. This is burgundy. It would be one thing if you were like her husband's ex or something, but like you're there with your husband. Burgundy is very much a fall color, and you said it was a color that she approved. Oh no.
That's ridiculous.
To preface, I have been with my husband for 9 years. We've been together since we were 15 years old, and we are about to be 24. We have 2 kids together, a boy, 5 years old, and a girl, 6 months. I've also never met her husband.
Dear God.
We lived 2 hours away from them, and the last time I saw her in person, my son was a year old, and she didn't even have a boyfriend at that point in time. She went on to say that I was a slut. You slut. And I should be ashamed of myself for wearing something so revealing. And that my husband was probably so embarrassed by me. Oh my goodness. What a B word. What is her problem?
I missed the part where that's my problem.
She's probably mad that you looked like better than her. Oh, people are so predictable. So at this point, I was getting very mad. I had worn a color that she approved on her list, and in my opinion, I looked great and modest, and so did my husband. I'm 5 foot even. I'm currently breastfeeding my daughter, so my breasts are a little over a double D. And since I work out regularly, my waist is slim and I have a decent sized bottom.
Oh, that's hot!
My hair goes down to my butt and it's brown with blonde and purple highlights. Okay, so you did look better than her. You sound sassy! Goddamn. She's also very beautiful, but her body is a complete 180 from 9. She's 5'5", she has maybe an A cup, she's got a small waist and almost no booty, but she could still pass as a model. Her skin is perfect, her hair is to her shoulders, and she's blonde. In my opinion, we are both pretty in our own way.
Aw, that's sweet.
Yeah, I mean, you're both pretty in your own way, but it's like, I could see her being insecure about how vivacious and athletic you look.
Don't be jelly.
Like, this is 100% about you looking too good. Like, 100%. I told her that couldn't be far from the case. I had never met her husband and was very happy in my own relationship. I had been with my husband for a very long time and I loved my little family. She was not having it though and kept yelling at me saying I was nothing. And she was embarrassed that I came to her wedding in such a distasteful dress and that she was gonna tell her daddy on me for ruining her big day by trying to look better than her. There it is. There it is.
You're silly and you make me laugh.
This is so stupid. I would be so thrilled if someone showed up to my wedding looking like $1 million. And like, quite frankly, you know, there were a couple people who were like worried, you know, they DM'd me and they were just like, oh, like, can I wear this? Like, it has white in it. Can I wear this? Like this ring, like it's bigger than yours. And I'm like, honey, ain't nobody gonna outshine me on my wedding day. Just saying. And that goes without saying for other brides as well. No one is going to outshine you on your wedding day. It's not an outshining thing. Like if they wear something like a white dress, that's them trying to outshine you. No one is going to outshine you on your wedding day unless you let them. At this point, I'd started to cry. Oh, bestie. She made me feel gross about my body and embarrassed because I was just standing there and she refused to listen to me. I know she was getting loud too because it didn't take long for my husband and mom to find us. My mom had my daughter in her hands and said that she was looking for me because my baby was getting hungry and fussy. Once she looked at me, she immediately knew something was off because I rarely ever cry. Yeah, no, your cousin like fully bullied you.
Are you gonna cry? Huh?
My husband took my daughter from my mom and walked over to me and grabbed my hand and asked if I was okay. My mom looked around and asked my cousin what was going on and why I was crying. My cousin threw her hands up and said I was acting like the victim because she exposed me for dressing like a tramp and trying to seduce her husband, that I was so obsessed with him and that I had to name my son after him. My son and her husband do have very similar names. Let's say my son's name was Samuel and her husband's name would be Sam. It's not the same name, but it's a longer version of her husband's name. She got an issue with you, man.
What is your problem?
Yeah, like she got problems with you that run real deep. I wouldn't be surprised if this was like some sort of projection, you know what I mean? Like maybe she's the one that like copies you, or like maybe she's the one that like wants to be you and she's accusing you of doing what she's doing. My husband laughed at this and told her our son was named in 2020. There you go. 2 years before she even met her husband. And there was no relation to the name. Oh my goodness. I was wondering about that. Okay, no. She Delulu. She drinking the Delulu lemonade. At this point, it's probably been about 20 minutes and I know guests are starting to wonder where the bride is, and that's when her dad, my uncle, comes outside with her husband to see us. So picture this. I'm standing next to my husband. I have mascara running down my face. My mom and cousin both have their arms crossed, glaring at each other, and my husband is standing there feeling uncomfortable, holding our fussy daughter. My uncle immediately goes to me and hands me his handkerchief from his pocket, while my cousin's husband goes to her and starts to whisper in her ear. I have no idea what he said, but I wipe my eyes and I tell my uncle my husband and I are leaving and that he can ask my mom, his sister, what happened. We get back inside and grab my son from my oblivious dad and say our goodbyes and go to the car where I feed my daughter, then change both the kids into PJs for the 2-hour drive home. The next morning, my cousin sends me a barrage of text messages, Facebook messages, and Snapchats demanding I publicly apologize on Facebook for dressing so scandalous to get her husband's attention at her wedding, and for trying to make it all about me by leaving early, embarrassing her.
This is insane.
What were you supposed to do? Like, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't in this scenario. Like, if you stayed wearing the dress that she was clearly uncomfortable with, then she would have accused you of, everything she's accusing you of. But you left because she seemed to have an issue with you, and even that's a problem? What did she think was gonna happen? Trying to make it all about me by leaving early, embarrassing her, when my mom and uncle told a few people about what she did because her daddy didn't take her side when she tried to yell over my mom about what happened.
You're weird. Nah, nope.
So far, I haven't answered her messages, but she keeps sending more and more every day. If anyone should be apologizing, it should be her. This is a ridiculous thing to be mad about. My husband is completely on my side and is very baffled about this whole thing. My husband and I have been together, like I said, for 9 years, but this was his first meeting of this side of the family. I'm adopted and I only have my uncle on my mom's side. Her parents have already passed away and my aunt is literally a crazy Karen, but that's another story, and we are no contact with her. So would I be the a-hole if I just decided to go no contact with my cousin and refuse to apologize for the dress I wore to her wedding? Or should I just say sorry and save face because of holidays with my uncle? I don't know what to do, but I'm definitely leaning toward no contact because I don't want this behavior in my kids' lives.
You have to trust your gut.
I don't want them to think it's okay to act like this, but if I'm wrong, I'll apologize. I don't think you're wrong. I think definitely low contact at the very least. And you don't have to make it about your kids at the end of the day. This person disrespected you and made you cry over something really dumb, over jealousy. This is literally over jealousy. You looked better, you looked vivacious, you had curves, and you wore something that showed them off. You didn't wear something that's lingerie to her wedding. This is a very modest dress. I'm sorry. Especially if you have long hair that's covering your shoulders. This is a very modest dress and tasteful, I might add.
You're pretty cute, you know that?
She's angry that you looked good. And if she's that insecure, she's got bigger problems. Let's look at the comments. $10, your cousin found out her new husband cheated on her, so she's hypersensitive to anyone around that could possibly be perceived as a threat. If anyone needs to apologize, it's her, not the a-hole. I mean, that's a fair assumption. It could be possible that she found that out and she's hypersensitive to it. But I wouldn't be surprised if this issue, why the cousin? You know what I mean? I feel like this issue ran deeper than that and probably has a bit of a history there. That, or he made a comment in the bride's presence about how nice OP looked. I mean, but then that wouldn't explain the double take that she did, She was kind of surprised to see how good she looked. Whether it was an innocent or creepy comment, the bride took it out on OP instead of the groom. People can't get mad at you for simply existing and looking good. Just saying. Let's not go blaming and assuming the groom is a cheater just because the cousin is a bridezilla. And I got evidence. 1, she tried to tell her daddy on the cousin and blamed her he didn't side with his daughter. Number 2, she called her cousin a slut for a dress in a color she approved. 2.5, having approved colors at your weddings for guests is just a major red flag. I would somewhat agree with that. It's normal to approve colors for the bridal party, but it's your wedding, and if you want people to wear fall colors, then there's dress codes for weddings, I told people to wear pastels or a bright color or something like that.
You're gonna wear it out of the store, okay? You're gonna treat yourself.
And it wasn't because I cared if someone showed up in something different. I wouldn't have cared. It was honestly to make the guests look good because of how colorful the building that we got married in was, and all the colors associated with the wedding. I wanted people to pop with the background, But it was a suggestion. It was not a Like, you're wearing this or you're kicked out. Tried to claim OP named her son after a man the bride hadn't even met yet. Not a single person except OP and OP's husband were surprised by this behavior. No one was happy, but none were surprised. This was not the first time her acting like this. Yeah, I agree. That's why it's like, I feel like this is like a long-standing kind of feeling that this bride had about her cousin.
Why are you so obsessed with me?
So we do have an update. Oh, I know you love that. I want to clear up a few questions that I've seen in the comments. I've tried to read them all, but more and more keep popping up and I haven't had the time to keep up. First off, multiple people asked me who passed away. My adopted mother's parents both passed away about 4 years ago when my son was 1 year old. Second, my son is 5 years old, my daughter's 6 months. Third, the aunt that my family's no contact with is not my uncle's wife. She is his and my mom's adopted sister. She did some crazy things at the funeral and tried to contest the will to get a bigger share of the accents.
You're tacky and I hate you.
And was very mad when she lost in court and is still trying to threaten legal action even though there's nothing left to dispute. Fourth, I will not be posting a picture of my body in the dress. Multiple people have asked to see me in it to get an idea. I think it goes without saying that she's got like a nice body, okay? Just like use your imagination. But I don't really feel comfortable with that. Even if I blur out my background and face, I do not want to read gross and rude comments about what my body looks like or be body shamed again. Multiple said they didn't think I looked good because I'm so short. What the f***, you guys? Like, let's not go there, okay? Yes! Yes! I did wear heels and it made me about 5'4". This is pointless. Like, OP, please don't listen to this shit. I'm sorry, guys. We're cracking down on the like spiciness that's going on in the comments. Just for anyone that's a member of this subreddit, let's keep things like respectful, okay? She showed you what the dress is. The dress is not revealing. What her body looks like is pointless. Pointless to point out. And kind of like body shaming and victim blaming, quite frankly. So let's not go there. Fifth, I don't know why people are so concerned about my hair color. I only added that in for the vision with the dress. All the people that are just kind of picking her apart and stuff like that, stop that. In fact, I'm gonna lock this post right now. Your privileges have been taken away. Some of you have had great ideas on what to post on Facebook to be petty about it. I had a few good laughs at those. I honestly don't know why she mentioned Facebook since I'm not friends with any of her extended family on there. The only people who would even see my post would be her parents, along with my dad's and husband's side of the family. I don't know how I'm supposed to clear anything up since I'm not friends with anyone else that attended her wedding. She might have tried to share it to her page or something, but I've decided that's not happening.
No way, Jose.
On to the update. It's been almost a week since the wedding and 2 days since my post. Not much has happened, but I do have some screenshots from her messages. I've not replied back to my cousin. I did in the beginning, but just stopped replying and currently blocked her. This whole thing was very strange. I feel bad for my mom because she's stuck in the middle of this. I've told her that I won't be attending any more family functions if my cousin's going to be there, and that I was very sorry but didn't want my kids to be around her. My mom understood but is still upset that my holidays will now be spent with my dad's side of the family or my husband's. They rarely get to see her brother since he lives so far away, and holidays were the only time she got to really see him. I've told her she can go without me and we can still do a makeup holiday the day before or after my grandparents' house on my dad's side, and she seems to have accepted this. This is very fair. And like, if anyone should be apologizing, it's your cousin. But honestly, this is like kind of a little bit, we're past apologies at this point. Like, this woman literally took time out of her own wedding to berate and bully a guest for literally no reason. I don't think I'd be able to look this person in the eye for like the rest of my life, especially after using the S word.
Stupid, 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 stupid.
All right, let's look at these texts. I can't believe you just left. You're going to regret this. What did you expect her to do? You didn't want her there in that dress. Oh, and you corrected the grammar. Really? You're so immature. Your mom is literally going around telling everyone that I made you cry. You did, though. Everyone is going to be talking about this. You literally ruined my day. You should know that red means that you want to sleep with the groom. I mean, only if there's like intention behind that. Like if his ex showed up or like, you know, someone that was single. It's not like a one size fits all rule. And like, furthermore, wasn't burgundy a color that you approved, bestie?
Come on now, dog.
Burgundy was on your approved colors for your dress list. I didn't wear red. Blank also wore burgundy if you saw. His tie and handkerchief was that color. It doesn't mean anything when a man wears the color. It also doesn't mean anything if that was on your approved list of colors. Like, and you expected people to not show up in that. She literally did right by you and wore a dress that was in your instructions. What's the issue? Girl, literally aunt wore the same color button-down shirt. Does she want your man too? I don't even know him. This was the first time ever meeting him and he didn't even look at me.
Who are you?
Ew, you know she's old. She doesn't want my husband. Everyone is going to think I'm a horrible person because you just had to leave crying. Well, you should have thought of that. Like, what do you expect to happen? You call someone and body shame them? Like, what did you think was going to happen?
Oh my God, thank you so much! I'm gonna go get some cake!
I've had multiple people come up to me asking why you left like that. I don't want him. Oh my God. I've been with my husband since 2017. What is your deal? What if my kids were there and saw you yelling at me? You're literally acting crazy.
You crazy?
I'm not crazy. You're the psycho who dressed so sleuthy to my freaking wedding. You're so embarrassing. My husband would never be with you. You need to apologize to us. And do it on Facebook too, because you humiliated both of us with your stunt. I won't be inviting you to anything else until you apologize. Oh no. Do you hear me? Answer my calls. Angry emojis. What is this person smoking? Like, I would stay far away from this crazy person. I would never apologize for what you wore. I would never even speak to this person again. So, are you the a-hole for not publicly apologizing to your cousin on Facebook for the dress you wore to her wedding? No. We got some more spicy family wedding drama for you. I got the sauce, the marinara. I had cereal at my wedding to spite my mother-in-law. What kind of cereal? Frosted Flakes? Fruit Loops? French Toast Crunch? I've wondered if I would ever get the courage to post this story, but after a good nap and hours of watching Charlotte reruns, I've decided it's finally time. Some names and specifics have been changed because I'm not about to start drama in my personal life. This is my first Reddit post, so be kind. Me, 29 female, and my husband Jim, 34 male, had been married for 10 years. We were very young when we met and didn't date long before we got married. I was 19 and he was 24. We have a 5-year age gap, but I moved through life pretty fast. Graduated high school at 15, working full-time by 16. And honestly, it didn't seem that weird to anyone who knew us. Anyways, I first met my mother-in-law, Sandy, a few weeks into our relationship. Honestly, she seemed disinterested in me or our relationship. Looking back, I'm pretty sure that's because she didn't think our relationship would turn into something serious or long-term.
You serious?
I would come over and Jim and I would have dinner or hang out watching TV. But Sandy mostly made herself scarce or would have small chats with us about whatever. I don't remember ever thinking she would be a problem. But then came the engagement. The engagement was very beautiful and well thought out. I was extremely surprised and both my parents attended. I asked why his parents didn't come. He let me know he invited them, but they were busy. Immediately after proposing, we called his parents to let them know, and they sounded like he had told them he bought a new pair of shoes or something.
This is so boring.
What did they do?
Oh, that's great, sweetie. What color?
It was strange to say the least, but I didn't dwell on it too much. I was just ecstatic to be getting married. About a week or two later, everything completely changed. Once Sandy saw the ring on my finger and had a realization that we would actually get married, I think something inside her broke. Her disinterest in us turned into a complete fixation on sabotaging our relationship. She became my opposition in every way. I wanted a simple centerpiece bouquet of baby's breath and white roses. She demanded silk flowers. My husband suggested Italian food. She wanted Mexican. We picked a venue on a hill that overlooked the city. She insisted we get married in a garden. Anything and everything we made a decision on, she would argue. She also hated whenever I would show affection to Jim. She would be sure to choose the seat next to him or walk with her hand on his arm. And it felt like she was competing for attention.
Do you think I'm pretty? Look at me! Look at me! Look at me!
My husband was always at my defense and always trying to reason with Sandy. Honestly, I think this was a side of her even he wasn't familiar with. It got exhausting. At one point, I kid you not, Sandy actually called my mother and told her I was too young and therefore do not get a say in this wedding. Ew. She's not a child bride. If my mother taught me anything, it was to be resilient and resourceful and maybe a little petty. My parents had my back. Prior to my wedding dress appointment, Sandy had made a big point to let everyone know she would be providing the wedding dress as a wedding present. So she's like picking it or she's paying for it. Even walking in, she let me know she had an envelope of cash with her and that I could pick anything I wanted in the store and not to worry about it. No, that's just her way of trying to control you.
I have it under control.
We pulled a few pieces off the racks, including one I had bookmarked on my phone months prior. It was an off-white fitted Oleg Cassini dress with a high-low hem and a large train down the back. It was a satin finish with small straps to hold it up. It was very Audrey Hepburn inspired. Ooh, love Audrey. I literally have a painting of Audrey Hepburn right here. You want to see? I wasn't kidding. She looks at me while I film. Great choice, bestie. I loved absolutely everything about this dress, except for the high-low hem. My mother-in-law, however, seemed to hate everything about this dress and began to berate every single thing I liked. The satin looks cheap. You look too short. And my favorite insult,
Jim would hate that dress.
I wouldn't trust anything this woman says. I bet you anything that you looked so good in this dress. Because she was the one picking the dress, I felt compelled to get the one she liked, even though everyone in my party could tell I didn't care for it. It was a fitted tulle mermaid dress with a sweetheart neckline, just like every other wedding dress that year. Oh, girl, this is the thing. Like, when you let people pay for stuff with your wedding, you're kind of in a position where you have to say yes to a lot of things. Once the dress she liked was chosen, she handed me the envelope and left the store before anyone else even rose from their seats. When I got up to the register to pay, the envelope had less than $200 cash. That's funny. That is funny. It didn't even cover the cost of my headpiece. Okay, then get the dress you want.
Don't you do it! Don't!
She had seen every price tag along with us and knew how much wedding dresses cost. Yeah, wow. I was a little surprised that she was willing to pay for it, considering how much she apparently doesn't like you.
I hate you. You always ruin everything.
The fact that she gave you $200 cash is like laughable. For a wedding dress, like, come on. That's how much she thinks you're worth. She had picked the ones for me to try that were far above that price tag. My group rallied for me and ultimately scrounged up enough money on credit cards to pay for the dress. This is when I decided I was done being nice. I just don't understand why you still picked the dress she wanted. If she wasn't paying for it, then what does it matter? Several months later, when the dress came into the shop, I went to pick it up. I took just my mom. I asked if the dress could be returned, and they told me since it hadn't left the shop or been altered, I could exchange it for another dress of equal or higher value. Game on. My mom and I went back to the Oleg Cassini dress I'd fallen in love with, and guess what? They had it in a full-length form. I tried it on and instantly knew I could not leave without it. I exchanged the dresses. Not only that, but because the Oleg Cassini dress was so much cheaper than my original dress, I also was able to get a full corset bra, full alterations, and upgrade my veil to a longer hand-beaded one.
Hell yes.
We did not tell my mother-in-law anything about it. There were other instances that happened after that, but I always stood my ground. Once my dad and I were talking in a group consisting of my in-laws about how guests needed something to eat prior to the dinner. But after the ceremony, a cocktail hour, and my dad made the joke that sometimes you just really want a bowl of cereal or something. I said that we should have a cereal bar like they have for a continental breakfast at a hotel. Sandy said, "You will not have a cereal bar." Absolutely not. I forbid it. Guess who had a cereal bar? We did. Yeah, honestly, at this point, it's literally like, you forbid it. Forbid what? Who made you the boss?
Clap if you care.
Who made you the manager of the wedding? The guests understood the assignment too, and they went ham. We had all the fancy dispensers and all the different kinds of milk. Almond, whole, 2% oat. We had gluten-free options and low-sugar options. It started as a joke, but I regret nothing. I made sure the photographer got lots of pictures of our guests eating cereal. Anyways, fast forward to our wedding, and Sandy's busy getting ready at a nearby salon, so she didn't have a clue what was going on, being set up, etc., which proved to be awesome because she couldn't fight anyone on anything. I didn't actually see her until she walked down the aisle before me. It surprised me zero that she was wearing a full-length, silver, fully sequined, mermaid-style gown with a sweetheart neckline. The same style she thought I had purchased.
Ew, people suck.
Oh. Her hair was pulled into a beehive and she had full glam makeup. I'm picturing something, you know that show that's like, this show? Like I'm picturing like this, you know what I mean? Like this show. Do you guys know this show? That's what I'm picturing. She stood out like a sore thumb. Silver wasn't even one of our wedding colors. It didn't match the style at all. She just looked ridiculous. Like, come on. A beehive, a silver dress, and full glam. Like, She was so focused on herself that she never realized I switched the dresses. Even to this day, it's never come up. I still laugh when I think about it. Wait, she didn't even get mad? It was her moment, bestie. Why would she worry about what you were doing? We've been married now for just over 10 years, and he's still the love of my life. The first few years of our marriage were very, very challenging with learning how to handle interactions with her. To this day, she doesn't understand why we aren't a close, bonded family. But I've also been through enough therapy to know that there are a lot of mental health issues to unpack there. Jim and I set boundaries and have enforced them through the years. I can honestly say we live a pretty calm life now, like I had imagined all those years ago. Be so for real. This woman is so unbelievably focused on herself that she didn't even realize that you spited her after she specifically forbade you from eating cereal at your wedding.
Girl, please.
That's a funny plot twist, I have to say. Okay, OP posted, here's the Oleg Cassini dress since everyone's asking. I had a longer train and bustle, not me pictured. Okay, wow. Yes, very Audrey Hepburn. Very Audrey Hepburn, I love it.
I love it.
And it had pockets. Oh my God, pockets! I'm so glad you stood your ground. I was really kind of expecting her to like have a bit of a freak out, but that is an interesting turn of events. Well done, bestie. 10 out of 10 petty revenge.
Subscribe.